Yes, now we are. We are live. Hello. We might have to turn the fan off. Let me know, or let us know in the chat if the fan is too loud. I don't have the air conditioning on at my house tonight, so my name is Michelle.
I'm Adriana.
And this is Tack Chat. We seriously need we need like a jingle we can sing. We need a theme song.
So if any of you musical artists out there want to write us a theme song.
Evie, Evernight Star, she wanted me to do a music video. So we just need to come up with a theme song for Tack Chat. So if you're in the chat right now, let us know. Say hi, first of all.
Evie and...
Yeah, Evie's here. And Evie, we were just talking about you. Were your ears burning?
Evie, is this farther away than normal?
I don't know. Do we need to pull in closer?
So. Yeah.
Oh, look, okay. There we are.
I feel better about the situation.
If you're not watching this live, if you're watching this on the playback, this is an unedited, like an hour of us being ridiculous. Tack Chat is our bi-monthly hangout live stream. It's an equestrian hangout where we drink wine or whatever you're drinking, and we clean some tack and we discuss an equestrian topic. Tonight, the topic is horse racing. Yay! Because me and Adriana are tiny, petite jockeys. You could do a cover of Fly. I'll give you the link. Okay. Oh, yeah. Drop me a link, girl. Okay. Okay, so here we are. We are live. I got to open up the wine because Adriana's got her La Croix.
Here, hold on.
So Taylor and Evie, you guys in the chat, did you watch the Kentucky Derby? That's going to be my first question. So we'll get to that in a second while I open. Oh, and one more thing. Before I forget, I wanted to say something. I didn't put all my links in the description box today. I was super busy today. So there's no link to the Extra Equestrians group in the description box. I can add that later. If you're watching, I'll play it back. There probably is. So look. But an issue I wanted to address was that recently there was a member of the Extra Equestrians Facebook group who was inappropriately messaging young girls who were also members. So that person has been removed from the group and blocked. But I wanted to take this opportunity because a lot of people from the Extra Equestrians group come to our chats and watch our chats. I just want to remind you guys, and anybody here in the YouTube chat as well, if anyone is sending you harassing messages or inappropriate messages or behaving inappropriately, please message me, message Adriana, tag us in a post wherever it is, and let us know so that we can help you shut that down. Because that is not what Unicorn and Centaur is about. That is not what Extra Equestrians are all about. So just please keep that in mind. Let us know so that we can help you if a problem like that arises. So if you're not one of the people that got an inappropriate message, thank goodness, yes, disregard. But if you do get any kind of, look at me looking at your phone, hang on.
That's fine.
I'm like,
that's what it's there for.
Her chat. Mine's over here. Oh, say, Evie said she kind of saw the Derby, the man that bumped into the other horse. Tabitha, you made it. Zadel, you're only like a second late. No worry.
I was almost.
And Scott's here. It's hard. I told Scott he had to watch tonight, and he's like, it's hard because there's a delay. So he's watching it like on his phone, and he's in the next room, so he can hear us talking.
And then he can hear us talking.
So suck it up. I need the watch time. Okay, tonight I went to Walmart today, and I got my usual oak leaf Sauvignon Blanc. I don't even know if that's how you say it, so make fun of me if that's not it. I don't mind. I don't care. I don't care. So, okay, did you watch the Kentucky Derby?
I did. Mm-hmm. I watched it in a Steelers bar.
In a Steelers bar?
Mm-hmm. Which I feel a little dirty about because I'm a Ravens fan.
I don't. Is that sports ball?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But I didn't buy anything, so I just watched it.
Okay. I was actually, okay, full disclosure, I did not watch the Kentucky Derby. I was working, and I didn't even realize that was the night it was supposed to be on. So I'm downtown on a carriage waiting to give tours, and I'm like,
well,
I was like, there's a lot of ladies in fancy dresses and weird, huge hats. What is going on? And I can't believe that I've been seeing things about the Kentucky Derby online, and I'm seeing ladies in big fancy hats and dresses, and I'm like, what's happening? And somebody was like, did you watch the Derby? And I'm like, I'm at work. So I did not see it, but I did see the replay because obviously I have YouTube. So I did see what happened. And at first I was like, what the heck? The one horse just came up on the other one. But then if you watch the feet, there was like a track of water there and the horse moved to the side. So it didn't look like, to me, it didn't look like the jockey pulled him over.
Yeah.
It looked like the horse just went.
Mhm.
And it may have been to avoid that line of water.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
at that speed, how can you really control that? I mean, it was a foul, but I don't think it was an intentional one.
No, I don't think it was intentional because I feel like a jockey competing in Kentucky Derby would, like, they would know not to, I mean, obviously they would know not to, but, like, that could potentially kill, like,
I know, like,
everybody.
This is the reason you're not supposed to. I saw people online, like, yeah, let's just like bump into each other, like roller derby or like football or whatever. And I'm like, these are animals.
Yeah.
Like, if they fall down at that speed, it's ugly, which we will also talk about tonight. But first, a message from one of our sponsors. This is if you're new to the chat, this is my hand-painted custom wine glass designed by Cheval Noir Designs. You can follow her on Instagram and Facebook. You can also get your own. It doesn't have to look like this. It can look like whatever you want.
I'm doing a mason jar glass with a horse on it. Somebody contacted me.
I love mason jars.
Yeah.
I just love mason jars. Oh, do you have an Etsy store for the stuff too? Okay,
yeah.
so Etsy. I'm going to put all the links in before the playback. So here is Artax's bridle. Do you want to do that one? Because that is the not moldy one.
Not moldy one. Okay.
I also have, hang on, I've got my tack basket with my tack cleaning rags, my mink oil, not olive oil, and this, I have some of this Phoebe's Foaming Saddle Soap. I have some weatherproofer. Oh, and some oil has spilled in the bottom. Okay. Let's leave whatever that is down at the bottom. We'll leave it in the bottom. It wouldn't be a live stream if I wasn't a mess about something. I knock stuff over. I make messes. Okay, so here's a bar of saddle soap. I'm going to do Sunny's leather bridle. I've been using Sunny's web headstall and reins. So it's like a nylon web. But I've got a leather bridle for him, and I'm going to put some paracord reins that I've made on it. So I'm doing that tonight. Doot. So here are cloths. If you need them, we can put it between us. Yay! And some boot polish. If we get to my boots tonight, I don't even know. Okay, who's in the chat? Who's saying something? I used to watch the Kentucky Derby every year. Like, my family, we'd all gather around, and we'd watch all the parade and the horses and the ladies and everything. So
I used to always be on vacation. Oh no, it's the Belmont that I'm usually on vacation for.
Zadel waited to kick after. Oh yeah, Zadel, who is, if you're familiar with our chats, you know Zadel has been in farrier school, and today was the first time he nailed shoes on a live horse, because they've been working with cadaver hooves, horses that have died, and then their body parts are donated to vet schools and farrier schools. So, okay, here we go. And he got kicked today. Oh my God, bless his heart. Oh, Evie says, excuse me, that's actually against the law. Evie, if you're talking about the harassment, yes, child, we have been absolutely outraged about it. And a couple of the women, I think, have actually filed police reports. But that's why, if anybody messages you here in the chat or if you're in our Facebook group, if anybody messages you inappropriately, if you're new to the chat and you missed that a while ago, there was someone who was sending inappropriate messages who has since been blocked from the group. So
I think that all of this stuff is offline.
Not anymore.
No.
Mm-mm.
Bummer.
Yeah. Oh, Evie's got to go to bed. Good night. Thank you for showing up for the chat, Evie. And Redstone Stables is here. Hello. If y'all are not following, is it Redstone Training on Instagram? Y'all can follow her on Instagram. Don't send inappropriate messages to each other, but if you want to share each other's Instagrams, accounts, or Twitter or Facebook or whatever well, not your personal Facebook, but like join I don't know. Can we do that? Can we tell people to friend each other? I don't know what you can do.
If they want to friend each other, they can friend each other.
Friendly is okay, but if people are weird, let me know.
Okay, I feel personally
Wait,
attacked by that
I know.
statement.
Wait, maybe we should define weird. Well, you know, there's weird in a good way, and then there's weird that makes you upset and uncomfortable. Yes. So right now, if Adriana and I are making you feel upset or uncomfortable, you are invited to click away, and you don't have to watch us anymore, and you're totally free. We let you go. We release you to the wild. Go. Be free.
But if you love us, you'll come back.
Yes. All right, so horse racing. I loved it when I was a child, and I think we talked about this before. One of the biggest heartbreaks of my entire life was when I got too big and too fat to be a jockey.
Oh my goodness, me too.
Because didn't you want that your whole childhood? That was like the
Yes.
gold standard, was to be one of the little on top of the ponies. And then I just kept getting taller and taller and taller. And then puberty and the here and then back here and then it's everywhere. And then I'm like, wait, jockeys have to weigh how much?
Yep. And I was convinced that I could still be an exercise rider because I was like, yeah, no, they can be tall and skinny. So I'm just not going to weigh anything.
Speaking of exercise riders, that is, if you're interested in horse racing or learning more about it and the ins and outs from someone who is in the industry, Shelby Dennis has a YouTube channel. I don't know if you follow her. She is an exercise rider. And she has videos and she has her own personal horses and stuff. And she's just cute. And I don't know, she's not like fake. She's like real cute, not fake cute. Do you know what I'm saying? I say cute because she's young. She's like, I'm old enough to be her mama. So she's cute to me.
There was a girl who posted, I think, as an equestrian horrified, that was a racer. I think she's in like Europe somewhere though. And she had a big accident.
I don't know if I saw that
Did you
post.
see that one?
There's so many posts in there. I love that group, but like I miss stuff. Yes, which as an equestrian, I'm horrified. It's a Facebook group. It's 18 or older, so if you're younger and you're on Facebook, content warning. But yeah, there's some neat people in there though. What are you doing over there?
Nothing. I'm fine.
All right, I haven't even started. I've got Sunny's bridle right here. Wait, can we get a close-up of the mold on this?
Ooh.
All right, I need a rag with some water. Did I get it on you?
Is that dirt from today?
No.
That I didn't wash off of me in the shower. Oh man, I did such a good job when I showered. There's literally dirt on my leg.
I thought, well, it's kind of reddish. It could have been blood.
Well, it also could have been hair dye, actually.
Becca's here, our chat moderator, and Tabitha says her cat Yoda is watching. Aw, hi Yoda, we love you. Sometimes we have cats that crash the live streams. They just like, I have 4 of them, so when they're in, and if we haven't fed them, they're usually like all in our faces.
I remember the first live stream we had air crashed.
Brittany says, girl, I don't remember when I cleaned my saddle.
Brittany.
Child, you bring home your saddle. Okay, in 2 weeks is the next Tack Chat. I want you in the chat saying, oh, look at me. I'm here with my saddle and I'm cleaning it. You need to oil it. There you go. That was your lecture for tonight. I love you and miss you. Redstone training, right? Yes, on Instagram. She's like made me a saddle pad and I can't even. She hasn't sent me a picture. She wants it to be a surprise, but I'm going to have to do an unboxing either here on YouTube or on Instagram. She was like, can you do an unboxing? I'm like, girl, yes. Brittany says, okay. I will drink to that. Oil your saddle with us next time, Britt. I'm about to do Sunny's bridle. Sunny's been so sweet lately. We've just been riding bareback because he prefers it. I don't think he's ever had a saddle that fits him.
He's tough to fit. He's
a weird shape. Like he's long and got the shark fin, but he's also wide, but he's kind of, I don't know.
My Kiefer fit him. my dressage saddle, but I no
But
longer have
he's
that.
like perfectly happy to do whatever we want to do as long as I got nothing up there. It's just me. He's like, yeah, let's go. There you go. Me and Sonny are going to run the Kentucky Derby bareback next year. You heard it here first. All right. I need to actually get a rag so that I can wash this thing.
Sorry about
Pardon me,
putting
hang
on
on.
your grill.
What now?
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I
Are you
apologize about
bored?
yawning.
Oh, excuse me.
I had really bad dreams last night, okay?
Oh, no. You should have let me know. I would have come in your dreams with you. And then we could have, like, vanquished foes together, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something.
It's the foes.
Oh.
Anyway.
Listen to me. I'm assuming it's some sort of battle. Some sort of fight. That's
It
a
was
bad
fight.
dream.
I couldn't get out of the river.
Aw.
Like, I wasn't drowning. I just couldn't get out of the river.
Okay, well, that does
It was-
suck, though.
It sucked. I was cold. It was fine.
All right, we are supposed to be talking about horse racing.
It's not my weird dreams.
So, and this is my moldy bridle that I'm going to use on my Sonny again. Oops, sorry. So, horse racing, I've had people, there are people, I went through can I even talk? I loved horse racing when I was a child, and I did go through a period in my 20s, and I will admit at this point I was a vegan and a card-carrying member of PETA. Don't judge me. It was the 90s. How dare you? It was the 90s. I even went to a protest at a Burger King in St. Louis.
Did you throw red paint on fur coats?
No, I didn't. No, I never did anything mean. Actually, it was like a protest at a Burger King to promote when the Burger King started offering veggie burgers. And so a local PETA organization sent a couple of us there with signs like saying, "Yay, Burger King." So it was actually like a nice,
like not a protest.
The only PETA protest I've ever been involved with was like a positive one. So in case you didn't know that was a thing, at least it was in the 90s. And when I say card carrying, like if you send them a donation, they send you a little card to put in your wallet. So that was like me. Anyway, what's my point? Oh, so when you do send money to PETA, or at least when you did in the 90s, they send you a lot of propaganda. They send you like a magazine and a recipe book and a poster and a bumper sticker and all sorts of branding, marketing, whatever. And so, of course, there was some stuff in there about horse racing and how hundreds of horses die horribly every year, and they're forced to run under cruel and inhumane conditions, and they are enslaved. So that's another confession of mine that at one point, like 20 years ago, I was against horse racing. And now you know I used to be a PETA person. It's because I love animals.
I understand.
I'm still vegetarian. You don't know me. Don't you judge me. I need more wine. Oh my hair is a mess, y'all. Anyway, I forgot to do my other thing. If you need your own Ask Me About My Unicorn, Ask Me About My Unicorn shirt, you can go to my Etsy store, etsy.com/shop/unicorn and centaur, and get your own. And then you can be as cute as me. Well, I don't know if you can be as cute as me. Some of you could be cuter. So, I mean, I don't know you. Anyway, order a shirt. Or not. You do you. That fan is bothering me, but I'm also kind of warm. Who's in the chat? What are we even talking about? So
Everybody's judging you.
Everybody's judging me. I love you guys.
As they should.
Recording servitor is here. Oh, and good night. I just saw you were in the chat. Nice to see. Good night. Oh, I love you, recording servitor. That's Willow.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah.
Willow servitor. Gone for a while, but back, different handle. Brittany says, I have a fat mare, but in a good way. Yes. Your mare is cute. Getting a good start. Redstone Stable says, my mother's friend has 4 horses, 2 of which are older. And where they were housed previously, they were hardly fed anything, so we took them in at our house, taking them out twice a day. Aw, that's nice. Green in the morning. Sweet. That's awesome. That, I mean, my horses weren't technically rescued, but nobody wanted them. Like, honestly, my horses were probably 6 months away from being rescued. So I prevented that. That's what I did. Healthy ponies until midsummer. Full hay bags. Oh, Zadel says he despises horse racing. Well, see, I went through that whole period of hating horse racing. And honestly, I didn't come around on it until just a couple of years ago. And it was being in several Facebook groups that changed it. Horrible Horsemanship, I think, and another one, and one or two others. But they actually, somebody would post about how awful racing was, and then there were racing professionals who would come on and explain how things work. And one of the things is, like, the horses that you see running the races are the ones that want to run. And it's the same thing as, like, with the carriage industry.
Yeah.
Like, when we do the carriage tours downtown, people are like, how can you force the horses to do that? Well, the ones that hate it never make it to doing tours. They get rehomed and adopted and stuff. And that's the same thing that happens with the thoroughbreds, is that they're bred for racing. And the ones that hate it and don't run and don't want to do anything, I mean, they get adopted out to 13-year-old girls like Catherine, who owns Hamlin, right?
My first
Well, she's not
horse-
13 anymore, but she was 13 when she bought it.
My first horse was she raced once. She started
Aw.
once. I looked up her racing pedigree like the other day.
Cute. Oh my God.
And one race, one start, like last place.
Yeah, You don't waste time on the ones that don't want to run. The ones that win races, the ones that get raced over and over again, are the ones that want to be there, or who at least can get their mindset in that kind of a job. So I started thinking about that. The only problem I still have is, like, with how young they're starting.
Yeah, I wish they were.
Because those horses are so young when they're raced. But then someone else in the industry reminded me, they're not run like that all day long. Those are very short bursts. It's all of that speed and energy is saved for the races. So it's all conditioning. All their training is conditioning. So I was like, okay, maybe. And then, of course, they get adopted out. So I feel like there's good and bad. Just like with that. Is there a possibility for abuse? I would say yes, especially the more money involved. Because when money's involved, people do stupid things.
Yeah.
People will abuse horses for money when there's enough money.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you, Becca, for modding.
I know. Yes. Oh, yeah. Did we get somebody? I love Becca, by the way. She's the best. I miss her, too, now that she's, like, in North Carolina or whatever. She can't come ride with me anymore. But she's got her baby. Start 2 years old, a horse skeleton is not fully mature. Now, that's what I was talking to Amy. I ran into Amy at the barn today, and me and Sunny and Amy and Blue tried to go back on the trails, but the deer flies said no, and they drove us all back this way. But Amy was talking about how thoroughbreds, off-track thoroughbreds in particular, don't live as long as other horses. Because, like, carriage horses will live to be 40. You know, all they're doing is walking around.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
But I have not looked that up, so I can't verify that information.
I think it really just depends on the horse. Like,
Yeah.
Sirius was born in 96, I believe, and he died last year. So, not terribly old, only in his mid-20s.
Because there is a Facebook group, and it's a public one, OTTB Connect.
Yeah.
I think, are you in that one?
Yeah, I'm in that one.
It's a huge public group. Zadel, go join. If you're not in OTTB Connect, go ahead and do that. They help rehome off-track thoroughbreds. People who have retired racing thoroughbreds will post their stories there of how they adopted their horses and everything. And every once in a while, drama blows up in that group, but that's the internet nowadays. The mods do a pretty good job of keeping everything cool in there. But go join that group, and there's a lot of good information in there. That's my recommendation. I need to oil my bridle or take it apart. I have got to take apart my bridle. I'm gonna put. I thought I had made a set of paracord reins for this, but I can't find them now, y'all. I was looking all day for them, and now I'm sad. We saw Redstone Stables, who's in the chat right now, wants to do more drawing for the next crafting live stream. I need to come up with a name for that. Like, we've got Tack Chat for this, but I need a name for the crafting live stream. I gotta figure that out. I don't know. If you have a suggestion for the crafting live stream, like a title for the show. The show. It's not really a show, but I don't know what to call it. So anyway, I can understand people not liking horse racing, and I can't say that I'm 100% on board, but I do like that the horses that are running like running.
Yeah.
I like that they're adopted out after their racing career is over, and most of them find good homes.
What I don't love is, so they get, who was it? Was Barbaro who had the shattered leg? Was that him?
There's been a couple like that.
I think it was Barbaro who had the shattered leg during one of the
I know.
the big three.
Is that within our lifetime or an older one? Okay.
Lifetime. And they retired him as stud, and I don't love that.
Yeah.
Because his line has brittle bone, or had brittle bones.
If the injury was because he was predisposed to breaking down, I can see what you're saying. Like, why would you retire him to stud?
Yeah, he was a great runner.
Right. That does make sense.
Else?
That seems like a valid complaint.
Yeah.
Now, there does seem to be Santa Anita track is something that's been in the news lately. I don't even know where that is. I'd have to Google it. Y'all, pardon my ignorance. But they've had quite a few horses break down there, and I've had people say that it's because of the footing.
And they closed the track for a couple days.
Did they?
To try and figure it out?
See, I don't know, but I know that that's been a point of controversy lately, is horses breaking down. Where's my other cheat keys?
I don't know.
Oh, no! Horses breaking down at the Santa Anita track. That was another concern. Oh, one thing I wanted to bring up. Have y'all seen the videos? Everybody who's in the chat, have you seen the videos of the OTTBs? OTTB, if you don't know, stands for off-track thoroughbred. So have you seen the videos online of the OTTBs reacting to the call to race?
No.
You know the call to race. That is the sound they play right before the horses run, right?
Yeah.
So it's like Pavlov's dog. You ring a bell and you feed him.
Yeah.
You play the call to race and the horse runs. So there are videos online. If you, some of them are so cute, but like retired OTTBs who have long since been, they haven't raced in years and years and years. But if you play the call to race, they perk up. It's so cute. They're like, we gotta go fast. There was one with this mare. She wasn't even tied or anything, but she was like about to go to sleep and they started playing it. She was like, oh my God. And she like listened to it for a second and they played it twice and she listened to the whole thing. And as soon as it was done, she turned around and like walked off. Like she was ready to go. Okay, let's go. One of my Facebook friends has an OTTB and she posted one early and he had been like sleeping and she played and he perks up and he's got his ears up. And it's cute. You can see the recognition on their faces. They're like, oh, I remember this. I gotta go do something now. And there's a little bit of confusion, like, but wait, the guy's not on me and we're not in the thing. It's so cute. That one mare was so cute. She was like at attention. And as soon as it was done, she just turned right and walked off.
It's like, all right, we're doing this.
Yeah. She was like, I gotta go. I got stuff to do. But I just think that's the cutest thing. Their little faces are the sweetest thing. And for all, yes, that's the second full glass of wine for anyone who's judging. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, Lord, I got to take a drink. When I forget what I was going to say, I have to take a drink. So, yes, I have had a weird relationship with horse racing over the years, I would say. It was one of my favorite things as a child. As a crazy horse girl.
I grew up reading, so I read the Saddle Club books growing up, and then the Thoroughbred books.
I'm too old for Saddle Club. It didn't exist when I was a little girl. I just had the Black Stallion.
Saddle Club and Thoroughbred books.
Wait, Thoroughbred books. What was that?
It was like a race staple.
See, if there had been all these books, I'm older. So my horse books as a child were the Black Stallion books, Black Beauty, obviously, and Marguerite Henry, who wrote Misty of Chincoteague and Drinker of the Wind. Was that it? The one about the first Arabian. Anyway, she had a bunch of books, like children's books, pictures books. But that's like all I had.
I told you about when I went to Chincoteague and found out that Misty of Chincoteague was not a true story, right?
I'm going to punch you in the face right now.
I was so hurt.
How dare you?
I know! I mean, Misty was a real horse, and they have her stuffed in the Misty of Chincoteague Museum, which I was not allowed to go see.
Who didn't let you go to the horse museum?
Amanda.
Amanda, if you're ever watching this, your days are numbered.
Truly,
I'm putting you on a list right now.
I Googled it, and I probably would have been traumatized.
Oh,
Misty's not looking too good.
I probably would have died too. Marguerite Henry, when I was in 4th grade, one of our school assignments was to write a letter to one of our favorite authors. And at the time, she was like one of my only authors that was still living. So I wrote her a letter, and she wrote me back.
Oh.
So I was like, yay! It was a form letter, but then she wrote like a handwritten note at the end of it, because I asked her if she was going to keep writing books, and she said, of course I'm going to keep writing books. Why would I stop? And I was like, okay, thank you, ma'am. And I don't remember, it wasn't her that did the illustrations, but do you remember the illustrations in her books? They were stunning. Yes. I can't remember the artist who did them, but I copied so many of those. All right, I finally got my bridle taken apart. What the heck time is it anyway? This is 10:30. Virtual Zookeeper's here. Hey, Joanna. That's how the thoroughbred horse racing is. Is that why you don't like it, Zadel? Is because they start them young? Yeah, start them at 2 years old. Horse's skeleton does not fully mature until they're 3 or 4 years old. Draft horses even later, right? Draft horses, I think, mature at 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Stormy was an OTTB. Aw, related to Hanover. You gotta go fast. That glass looks a little full, Michelle. All right, you shush. That is Crazy Aunt Michelle juice, and I'm drinking it tonight, y'all. I love y'all. Okay, preferred draft horses, less likely to spook on you. Yes, draft horses tend to have more quiet, calm, stoic personalities. And that's what I tell people is that, you know, for a little kid, they're like, I want to get a pony for my little kid. I'm like, no, you want a draft horse for your little kid. But they're so big. They will babysit your child. Like, literally. Tabitha says, I love my babies. Draft horses are my favorite. Tabitha, you have to come play with me with my horses sometime. You will die. Our tax is literally half the size of those carriage horses. Like, you're going to be like, oh my God, he's so deep. Every time my husband Scott does carriage tours occasionally downtown Savannah as well. And every time he comes to the barn with me, he's like, I can't get over how tiny they are. And he's talking about like 1,000-pound animal. He's like, I can't believe how tiny this horse is. Artex, did you see the picture I posted of him after his bath the other day? And he had his judgy face on. He was not my best friend.
He's always got his judgy face on. I mean,
no, but he's so sweet and he loves me. But after his bath, he was just like, he couldn't even. He hates water. Terrified of it. That's what made me think of that. Artax is what made me think when I watched the Kentucky Derby playback with that trail of water and then the horse like just sort of veering to the right to avoid it. I'm like, that's what Artax. Actually, what Artax would have done is to jump straight up in the air and spin around and then go the other way.
Yeah, the exact opposite of what.
But that's what that made me think of. I was like, oh, somebody didn't want that. Who's what? All right, y'all. I'm not even saddle soaping. What is wrong with me? I'm too busy drinking tonight and talking about horse racing. Why can't I find the one I want? Okay. Saddle soap, saddle soap, saddle. Oh, wait, no, I have a thing for saddle soap. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I have to get back to doing my bridle because Sunny's bridle was extremely moldy. I had it in a tack box, and all I'm taking is a damp rag for anyone who is interested in what we're doing. Oh, I gotta go back to, are you in, there's a group on Facebook. It's like unusual items, antique, vintage, unusual identification.
No, I'm not in that.
It's real. Somebody had an old saddle the other day that they were trying to restore, and I ended up chatting in a comment section with someone. I have to go back and find it, but she was talking about the products that she uses to restore saddles. So I was like, oh, thank you. I'm gonna write this down, and then I didn't write it down. Y'all know I didn't. So I need to go back and find that. But that's a cool group. I'll add you if I can remember.
Okay.
But there's just, I'm in all kinds of different Facebook groups, y'all. I am in horse groups. I am in witch groups. I am in women's groups. I think I'm in cat groups. I'm in joke groups. I'm in secret groups.
I'm in a lot of tag groups.
Well, can you still tag if you're not in the group?
I think so.
Because I figured out you could still tag while you were in the group, and then I decided to quit joining so many dang groups just for the tag. I don't know. And then some were changed. I left the I will sacrifice this man to Freya, or something like I will sacrifice this man, or I will
present his bones.
Yeah, and present his bones as a tribute to Freya, because they changed it to person. And I'm like, that's not why I was here.
Yeah.
And again, not all men.
But definitely this.
So yeah, I'm not a man hater. I'm just a gross man hater. And that was a group where we could yeet the gross man.
Yeah. I'm in a couple of them that haven't changed.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. So I like dropped out of that one. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. If it can't be, this is not the content I signed up for. Okay, I am slowly working through my saddle soap problems. I'm not even noticing what you're doing. Are you just oiling Artax's bridle and having a good time with yourself?
I am cleaning his bit.
He's a baby. I rode Artax today. I have been too heavy to ride Artax. Like with our Texas misadventure, he lost a little weight and condition, and there was just a lot of time he didn't get worked. And I gained weight. So I have lost about 15 pounds and been working him again. So I'm finally back on him. And I'm so excited. I love riding him. He's like, I feel like I might die, but he's also the most awesome horse I have ever been on. I don't know how to explain. And I was telling Amy about that today. And I'm like, well, you've ridden him. He is the most wonderful horse to ride. But there's always in the back of your mind, like, I could die at any moment. Because, I mean, he's an Arab and he's spooky. And he's not completely, totally trained and finished. And I'm not a trainer. That's not me. All right, what do we still need to cover about horse racing? We've got some not fans in the chat, and that's fine. I'm not going to poop on anybody's opinion. Right?
Yeah, right. I guess we could talk about, like, there are different types of horse racing. There's the thoroughbred racing. There's
quarter horse racing.
There is standard bred.
I used to follow a lady who, one of my friends in one of the groups I was in had a horse who was a pacer, a racer. Mm-hmm. And that was my first Breyer horse, was the pacer. With the sulky and the Brenda Breyer with the little silks on and everything. Yeah. The very first Breyer horse I bought, probably in like 1977 or some crap like that. But she had the little doll and the little two-wheeled sulky, and he's still here somewhere, that horse. I kept him. Anyway. But yeah, there's different kinds of racing. I didn't keep all my Breyers. I gave a lot of them away. But I kept the pacer because he was the first one that I ever bought. and I kept the Morgan because my husband's last name is Morgan. So I am missing a cheek piece. No, I'm not. I'm sitting on it. It was under my butt. Y'all. Yes, my glass was full.
There's also like steeplechasing, which
the thing with any kind of racing is when there are injuries, they tend to be horrific.
Yeah.
That's the difference between the carriage industry and the racing industry to me.
Mm-hmm.
When there's an accident in the carriage industry, it's minor injuries because we're going 3 miles an hour.
Or less, depending
Exactly,
on
right, exactly. You just can't go that fast. Even if the horse spooks and takes off, you're only going to be going like, what, 10 miles an hour? I mean, really, they're not the race horses. So, but when horses are racing and they're going as fast as they can, when there are accidents and breakdowns, they tend to be tragic.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, have you watched or seen the pictures from Ruffian's race? Ruffian was in the 70s, and it's one of the first, like, I remember the race. It was mid 70s, I think.
Yeah.
But she broke down and broke both legs.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and was still trying to go.
Yeah. Oh.
It was awful to see the pictures of her. She was like, no, I got to go fast. And everybody was like, no, honey, please stop. If you're one of my younger subscribers, please be careful what you Google because sometimes the horse racing breakdowns are really upsetting. Because when a horse's leg breaks and they're still trying to go fast, you can see their legs kind of flailing around. And when you understand what it is that you're seeing, it can be nauseating or upsetting. So just keep that in mind. Also, if your parents don't want you like looking up weird stuff like that on YouTube, then please don't. I don't want you to have nightmares because of me. Oh my God, am I going to be giving children nightmares? It wouldn't be the first time.
I was going to say, I'm sure I've given children nightmares. Either by giving them lessons or telling them ghost stories or,
I never.
Brit's only 5'4".
What? No, you're taller than that, aren't you?
She says she's 5'4" with long legs. I don't.
She does have long legs though. She's like a cute little spider. Where did my leaky mink oil go? Here it goes. All right, I need an oil rag. I have an oil rag. Gonna oil my tack pieces. Uh-oh, I knocked over. No, I didn't. Where it is? Where it is? I love you. I don't know. Should I put the noseband back on that or not? I don't know if it matters. I don't think Artax pays attention to the bit. Listen. I think he just takes suggestions from me is all. So yeah, I rode him for about 10 minutes today, and I was so happy. My little pony. He's a little baby. Okay, so this is the noseband. What did you do?
I moved.
Oh. Was there ever a time when you were against horse racing? Or what don't you like about the industry as an alternative?
I don't like that they started to. Like, I wish they'd start training, and not even to in some cases. Because, you know, the racehorses all are born, like, no matter when they're born, their birthday is January 1st.
Right.
So you get a horse born in, like, September.
Yeah.
And they're a year old January 1st.
Yeah.
And that's just not, like...
To be fair, though, maybe it's because I don't watch all... Okay, can I finish the sentence? I don't think all of them are like that, because if you're like a 2-year-old and you're only 14 months old, I feel like it's obvious. Like you have a little short tail and you have a...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they still look like babies until they're...
I mean, they still do look like babies. Some of these racehorses look like babies.
Maybe I'm not looking at all the right races, but I don't feel like the ones I'm watching, they look like babies. But yes, I wish there would be like a rule on horse racing, like with Big Lick, like with, you know, with the Tennessee Walkers, where they're no longer allowed to do things that abuse the horse to get them to do the high stepping thing. I wish there would be something like that in horse racing, whereas the horse has to be like 4 years old before they can race. And it could be the January 1st, 4 years old.
Yeah.
Fine. Maybe little steps, but, and I understand, like, the younger they are, the faster they're going to be and the more money they're going to make you. But here's where we go. Money is what's controlling policy then, right?
Yep.
Isn't that what that means?
Yeah. I mean, that's how
I think that's terrible that money would be controlling what the rules are.
Well,
I know. That's the world we live in with everything. Whoever is making money is controlling what the rules are. I don't think that's the way the world should work. Not that I'm a communist or anything, but that just doesn't seem right.
No.
Just doesn't seem right. I don't know. Who's sounding off in the chat? Who's got something to say? Come at me. All right. I need more mink oil, clearly. Now I'm trying to remember what that lady in that other group was telling me to do to condition this leather. Okay, so I did this, and I did that, and I did that. I think I need to do the... What?
I'm just observing.
You are... Okay, so I have... Like, count my pieces here.
You want my help tonight?
I guess I do. Like, do I have a whole bridle there? I have the bit down there. Oh, wait, no, there's... I see the noseband.
And here's a cheek piece.
Okay, do I have two cheek pieces?
Is there one over there? Did you just drop it? Yes, and the noseband's over there. You have a whole bridle.
Yes, I'm going to be able to do it, y'all. So I guess if I could change things in the racing industry, it would be at what age the horses are started racing.
Yeah, I mean, they already, I don't think they allow, like, electrified whips or anything anymore.
No.
So that's good.
Like, there's things in rodeo. Have you seen those electric prods they use on the broncs sometimes? They've got little electric buzzers that they'll hold in their hands. And I think, like, those are obviously illegal in horse racing now. Yeah. Okay, here's my reins, but I'm not using these reins anymore. So I think now it's time for me to put that thing back together. Excuse me. When is the Preakness? Do we even know? Has it happened yet?
No, it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
It's the end of May.
Is it? I could probably Google it. I have a phone here. Okay. Head stall, brow band. This is the one I always have a problem with because I ended up putting it on upside down. Okay, hang on. Which way does it go? Oh, it's this way. But wait, it's this way. So then it would be this way. Shh. Okay, I think I got it. I think putting together bridles while you're drunk is pretty good practice.
They don't teach you that in Pony Club.
They don't teach you that in Pony Club, y'all. You're only going to get that here on Unicorn and Centaur.
Did you see the pictures of Pony Club out at Derby Oaks?
Yes, so cute.
Yeah.
Derby Oaks Equestrian Center. Follow them on Facebook.
I love it.
I don't know. Do I want a noseband? I like the simplest tack.
I like nosebands, but
my fantasy is just no saddle pad or bareback pad, not even a neck rope, just me sitting on the horse's back. Can I do that? Is that achievable? How would we do Tack Chat if I never used Tack?
Talk to Sonny.
Sonny would love that. Sonny is over Tack. He's like, why are we doing this? Sonny wants to take our relationship to the next level, and I feel like we should, especially since in one of the crafting live streams I did the paracord tack, so now I have a neck rope. Thank you. Okay, since I forgot what I was saying, I have a neck rope for Sonny now. Okay, cheek pieces. Do they go with the thing inside? They do. Don't Shush you. What haven't we talked about yet? We talked about the call to race. If you are in the chat or watching the playback and you have an off-track thoroughbred, take a video of your horse when you play the call to race for him and tag me, like post it on Instagram and tag Unicorn and Centaur in it. I would love to see it because those are the cutest things, I swear to God.
I'm not going to Google it now.
Oh, it's so adorable. They're like, oh, I'm important. I remember this. All right, then we'll see if I can find whatever. What the heck is going on here? Okay.
I don't think Derby ever raced.
Who?
Derby. He's the horn's namesake.
Gotcha. Right. I wondered about. I thought I saw that there was like. I'm like, oh, there's a horse named Derby, and that's why it's named that. Okay. Got my bit. It is a single joint loose ring snaffle. Some people say that the loose ring snaffles will create a nutcracker effect and hit the horse in the roof of the mouth. I've also heard people say it depends on the shape of the horse's mouth and each individual horse's anatomy. Some prefer a two-jointed bit, while this is a single joint. Sonny does not seem to mind. Whatever I put in his mouth, he's like, sure, whatever. I may put the French link on this, though. If it's the one I'm going to use.
Yeah.
I watched a video about training your horse to go on a neck rope. And one of the criteria was make sure your horse goes rhythmically, smoothly, calmly, evenly at walk, trot, and canter. That you can get a nice working gait in all three gaits. And I'm like, oh, what if we just dupe around in the woods? I just want to do a neck rope thing we just want to go down to the river and back, and I just don't want to put bridle on him. Anyway, meanwhile, Bareback kind of upsets our tags. He doesn't know why things are so wiggly back there.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, what's going on? I don't understand.
Do you remember that Lapaloosa that I was working with at Norwood?
Was it AJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it wasn't AJ.
No?
It was the border. Spur or something.
No, I don't remember that one then.
He was a little small for me, so I was like, all right, so I'll just try it like bareback.
Right.
See how he did not like that.
Oh my gosh.
It was too much.
Yeah, some horses don't enjoy bareback. Weasley never. Did I just hit you?
A little bit. It's okay. I got headbutted by one of the horses today, so.
Oh my gosh.
I was sure that I'd broken my nose.
I always warn people when I'm doing tours downtown, they always want to pet the horses. And I love when people pet the horses. But like Cinder, one of the horses we have, she's fairly new. She's only been doing the job 2-3 years, something like that. So she still looks around a lot. The horses that have been working on the streets for a long time, they don't care. They're like, yeah, I've seen the Pink House. Yeah, I've seen the Lucas Theater. I don't need to look around at people. I'm not people watching. I'm fine. But Cinder, she's new, so she looks around and she moves around. So I warn people, and I've seen people get knocked in the face by her head. Draft horse heads weigh almost 200 pounds.
Yeah, they're like ridiculous.
They're like cinder blocks just swinging around.
Oh yeah, I did have you ride Brit rode this a lot. What was his name? Anyway.
Oh my gosh, my mink oil just totally, I overturned it and it is like made a pile on the floor. Which reminds me of the first Tack Chat ever. Remember that? The very first Tack Chat ever was in January of 2018 and it was at Adriana's house and I spilled oil on the floor.
It was January 2018? Or was it 2017?
Oh my God. No, it was 2018 because I've only been doing this just over a year. The Unicorn and Centaur technically has had a YouTube channel since 2016.
Okay.
But for the first year and a half or two, I just was posting thank you videos for the Indiegogo that I did, for fundraisers I did and stuff. I didn't get serious about doing videos and live streams until January. It's been a little over a year.
Okay, yeah. An air.
Headbutting contest. Zadel, if you get in a headbutting contest with a horse, you are going to lose, sir. Please be careful. Was his name Spot?
It was not Spot.
Not Spot. Okay.
It was like Pistol. It was Pistol, I think.
Pistol?
Maybe. Something like that.
Joanna says Arabians are intelligent, but they're actually insane. I feel attacked. Our text is so precious.
Genius.
Do you know what's funny though? Like when we went to Texas and back, the shippers that took him, it was two different people driving one way and then another person driving the other way. Both of the shippers went out of their way to tell me what an angel Artax was and how they have never met an Arab like him before.
Aww.
These are people who ship horses professionally all the time.
Aww.
And they told me like they're like, I have never met an Arab like this before. And I'm like, oh, my baby! Because I know they have reputations for being stupid and weird and spooky. And he is.
He can be a little derpy.
He's really smart, though. Every time I've tried to teach him something, like within 1 or 2 repetitions, he's got what we're doing. And you know, with most horses, you do an exercise 3 times and they start to relax. Mm-hmm. Like after you've done something like 1 time, they're confused and upset. Mm-hmm. The second time, they're starting to understand that it's the same thing that happened before. By the 3rd time, they get that it's a pattern and they start to relax. Artax is the opposite. He gets it the first time. So then the second time, he gets suspicious. Like, why are we doing this again? And by the 3rd time, he's really upset. I don't understand why we keep repeating this. So I have to approach things differently with him than I do any other horse. He really is different. Okay. We are almost done with our live stream tonight. I don't think I have decided on an actual topic for the crafting live stream for next week. I know Redstone Stables wants to do more drawing, so we may do that. I really need to get better at graphic art. I need to maybe one night we need to figure out how to practice graphic art. I don't know. But there are 2 kinds of if you don't do the crafting live streams, there are 2 kinds of crafting live streams I do. One is with a craft that I'm very familiar with. I have a lot of experience with, and those live streams usually go really well, and I get to display my knowledge and expertise and show people the different things. But then there are some of the crafting live streams, I just want to figure out how to do something. Yeah. And so this is the first time I've done it, and I'm trying to figure it out. I've never done it before. Those usually end up a disaster, but they're kind of hilarious. So I guess I don't mind. Anyway, okay. I've got my bridle back together. I don't have my reins on it, but that is because I'm going to put some paracord reins that I have made myself onto this bridle, and I think this is the one I'm going to use for Sunny. I might take the noseband off because I don't even care, and Sunny doesn't care. Anyway. What time is it? I need another drink. It is 10:58. Y'all, thank you for everyone who showed up tonight and gave their opinion. Zadel, thank you for being here. And Willow, our servitor, was here tonight. And Taylor showed up at the beginning. Who else was here? I'd have to go back through the chat and scroll through. Redstone Stables. And Becca for being a rock star.
Yes, thank you, Becca.
And weeding out the unmentionables. Mm-hmm. So next week is going to be the crafting live stream. Thank you, Adriana, for coming tonight. I know you're busy. I love you. And I'm not just saying I love you because I've had 2 glasses of wine. I really do love you. Thank you for showing.
I understand.
No.
I get it.
Thank you for showing up for Tack Chat and for sharing your opinions about horse racing. I am starting to slur my words, so it's time to shut off the live stream and for us to take a picture for the thumbnail. And thank you very much for showing up tonight. Here I am. I'm going to stop the broadcast. I'm doing it. Wait, where's the thing?